Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. No Read November Part 2 for this year. It's our month of doing live-action anime movies. The new schedule should mean less pain.
And yet here we are.
We have to do half the movies we normally do, and yeah.
Why were they both bad?
That's the real question. Normally we have one that's at least either legitimately good or like so bad to be funny.
Or whatever the hell Goku and his magic friends was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Okay.
Next year we're gonna get gold, right? Please?
Sure.
Statistically, I guess.
I mean, to be fair, we did laugh a lot during this movie.
To be fair, we are running out of anime movies.
No, we aren't. You just need to choose the ones that I put up for a vote.
I'm not watching the love novel ones.
Well, then it's your loss. So my point remains. There are plenty of anime movies. You refuse to watch them.
We're running out of anime movies.
So, to round out No Read November this year, we watched the Zom 100 live-action movie. Quick recap for our experience with Zom 100. I've not consumed any of it since we did our episodes on it last. Save for, I think I saw like the first 5 minutes of it at a panel at Otakon of the anime version, with the Technicolor zombie blood. And that's about it for me. How about you, Jake?
I distinctly don't like zombie fiction. And Zom 100 was a competently made zombie story. So no, I have not consumed more of it.
All right, Matt, how about you?
Yeah, I think I watched the first episode of the anime.
And Jay?
I've watched exactly 3 episodes of Zom 100 anime, and it's probably a strong but very feeble minority who absolutely hates the anime, but enjoys the manga.
Here in the live-action movie, cover the initial outbreak of the zombies, as well as the backstory of our hero Akira's dog market, corpo wage slave work experience, and then Shark. Those are about the 3 things I remember, and we literally just watched it.
So they do a version of the flight attendants. They do a version of getting Kenichi is his name, I think.
Kensho.
They do a version of obtaining Kensho, or I guess I should say they do a version of obtaining a version of Kensho, because they refuse to acknowledge this as the true Kensho for reasons we'll get into. And then okay, so the weird thing about this movie, you get the expected stuff where it's like they had a surprising budget, and they also massively cut corners because the budget wasn't that big. That's all to be expected. And quite frankly, given the budget that they had versus what they had to work with, I'd say they put the money in the right places, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that baffled me is that there are places where this movie was really, really good and really, really careful at the filming of shots and the framing of shots on site, the editing to have shots work and have impact, the construction of the plot and the way that the story progresses in a way that's clear to the audience. And then there were other cases where they did literally everything in the worst way humanly possible. There are more than a few situations where the zombies seem to literally spawn in on command. So when I say this, they had to either cut things, only go so far, or combine certain plot points. They made the, I will freely admit, probably good decision of combining the roadblock plot point with the aquarium plot point. The aquarium is the big set piece that everybody's waiting for because everyone wants to see Zombie Shark.
Every time Zombie Shark wasn't on screen, I was asking, where's the Zombie Shark?
And then, but also from a narrative and emotional standpoint, having Akira stand up to his boss in the pre-apocalypse life is a good emotional beat to end the movie on. Had it had been done competently, we will fucking get there because we all have words. But like it
Yeah.
makes sense to combine those two plot points, and it's going to be so hard because there's so much I want to compliment, but I don't want to give the movie that kind of credit.
Yeah, like there are bits and pieces that are like really good adaptational changes. Like the whole thing with just the zombies themselves were pretty scary. You know, they had like very jerky kind of contortionist like movements, you know, limbs bending the wrong way, a lot of sudden jerky with like crick cracks of cartilage and
Uh,
uh
as long as they were in the front of the group.
as long as they were in the front of the group, yes.
Everyone behind the front zombie may or may not have had makeup.
That they probably had like ratty clothes that they personally wore to set that day.
There was a lot of people who are clearly just extras who were asked to bite down on a blood pack. Like,
Yeah, that was it. Which, you know, in a horde scene, I wouldn't want to be the PA who had to make sure that everybody looked like an authentic zombie.
like the insane thing to me is they have some shots that are clearly like they blocked off a street to film, but then they didn't bring enough extras to fill the street. So it's just a giant crowd of zombies in the center of like a 5-lane street that's completely empty.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
oh,
I don't know if it's like casting or maybe it was just something to do with like maybe even noise or
Like I made the joke about like the zombies spawning in or despawning, and Sam actually made a really funny observation that the scene in the beginning where he's running up the scaffolding is some Left 4 Dead 2 level design. It feels kind of video gamey.
Yeah, because you know, we open in medias res with Akira running from a zombie horde, complaining about how he's going to be late for work. Cut to
I mean, because that's the thing. That's the thing that sold the manga, like sold the anime. You know, you got to get that in.
yeah, cut to 1 year before when it shows the, you know, the whole story of him being a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed college student, fresh, ready for his new career, and it's a terrible, toxic company that will give you a 75-hour work week and say, suck it up when you're tired. That was pretty good. That was well established. You know, we got the we got the montage of him doing 2 all-nighters in a row, stumbling back to the apartment block on Thursday morning when he left on Monday.
You know,
And the old man
It's-
at the bottom of the stairs being like, what?
they actually, now that I think about it, they made everybody less bad because wasn't his landlord constantly hounding him for rent?
mhm.
Yeah.
That's gone, and
Yeah,
they
that's one of those ones where like this made a lot of good adaptational changes, and then it just made some baffling ones.
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to where I'm building up to, unfortunately, all the way at the end of the movie. But like, also his crush at work, they keep everything nominally the same, but they omit the moment where she's banging her boss in the closet and the walls are more thin than they think they are, and everybody at the office can hear it, because it's like that creates a different kind of, because like one of the big things with the Zom 100 manga is like there's this element of like he's always living in a fantasy world. He's always like pie in the sky, like things will work out attitude. And like him maintaining his optimism but coming back down to earth is like a big part of his character arc.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah. Yeah, because like, you know, the relentless bombardment of battery he deals with is what makes the apocalypse seem like such a breath of fresh air to him. So softening the relentless bombardment of battery makes him seem like kind of an asshole.
yeah, it massively dulls the theming, and it actually ends up funnily enough ruining a character that will come up later in rather funny and hilarious ways. But It's not hard to do the he works at a toxic company bit, and like that's done well enough.
Mhm.
The initial outbreak is a well-worn trope and not that difficult to do, so
I did like that scene. It's him on the subway platform staring at the barricades between him and like the barricades that'll open when the train appears. Like, man, if
that's
this
unique
wasn't
to
in
the
the
movie, I
yeah,
think.
man, if this wasn't in the way, I'd throw myself in front of that train. And there's a guy staggering in the background, like, "Bleh."
I do like the one thing they added to the movie because we need to establish that he is an athlete. Uh, he is very American football coded. He's got a little ear pod thing that's a football. He's got a Packers 1996 sweatshirt that he wears when he's just like hanging out. And they clearly filmed him and his best friend in football jerseys in a big game. And
Throwing
they
the pigskin.
filmed this, and the movie cuts to this football game so often.
They
Well,
only
it
had
was
so
like-
much time on that field, Matt.
Well, yeah, they did. And it also comes up that apparently this was like the game. Literally, in this instance, broke their future prospects because obviously they didn't go pro and make a whole lot of money. Yeah.
They're in Japan. They were never going to go pro and make a whole bunch of money.
Used to
Uh,
play college ball, Could have gone pro if I hadn't joined that toxic commercial making company.
they reuse a lot of stock footage too. I don't think that they used the budget badly, but there are a lot of places where you can see the budget fell short. Like if the movie was better, that would be less something to take less note of, but here we are. So it's like we've gotten the outbreak and Akira starts doing all of his shenanigans. I like how he goes to Tokyo Tower, which for some reason has no zombies because they don't
Yeah.
spawn in during cutscenes, and he sets off fireworks below Tokyo Tower on the street during a zombie apocalypse.
No
Jacob's
zombies.
really not establishing how bad this scene looks because it is like a PNG of Tokyo Tower, like the skyline of Tokyo Tower with some like Windows screensaver fireworks behind it. And when they cut to his point of view, it is like a downward shot of him clearly standing on like an asphalt street stage. Like,
Yeah, the perspective is all off.
Which is funny because one of the scenes that I have to call out as being really well done is the scene where it's the scene that inspires him to make his bucket list, where he goes to his work crush, and the way that they shoot that scene to set up that she has already been bitten and that she's already, a dead woman walking. They frame the shots, they edit it, and they shot it really freaking well. There's a point where she falls and she's covering, like she's been hurt, and it's like, oh, that's a bite. And then there's a later shot where, she caves in the boss she'd been sleeping with skulls. You can see the bite on her arm for just a couple of frames, blink and you'll miss it right before she actually kills his zombified, form. Like that was really well done. That was really well shot. Now, honestly, there's kind of pathos to that scene. It's weird because it's like because of where it happens, they still have to have her be sleeping with her boss. So it's like, but like they soften it, but they don't change it, which makes it, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel in this scene. This is honestly one of the biggest problems with the movie, where it doesn't really seem to know what it's trying to be.
Yeah. Like, the movie flip-flops a lot between a very deadly serious tone and a kind of cartoony tone. Because, like, we're talking about the Tokyo Tower fireworks. While that is the least competently shot part of that montage, the montage of him doing things when he no longer has work, he graffitis a, like, 10-story tall, like, self-portrait of himself
It's
on the
so
side of the
good.
skyscraper.
It's like hilariously, beautifully good.
And And that is put side by side with him cleaning his apartment. And then it just goes, day 3. Like, that's not
He does so many
weeks
things
of
in
effort.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that the movie doesn't flip-flop in my opinion between serious and comedic. It flip-flops between earnest and comedic. That's not a hard thing to pull off, but the problem is it doesn't use the earnestness to accent the comedy or the comedy to accent the earnestness. They are completely different tones that do not gel with each other the way that they work, and they end up clashing horribly. It undercuts the moments when it's trying to be serious and have pathos, and it makes the comedic moments feel out of place and incorrect. It tries to do the same themes as the manga, but like because it's a movie, it has to dumb them down to basically Saturday morning cartoon tier, and
Yeah.
it does not earn that at all.
No, honestly, if I hadn't already like seen the progression of the manga, I probably would have stopped halfway through this movie.
Yeah, it's clumsy, very clumsy.
The grind sucks. YOLO, live your life. It does that so disingenuously, which is impressive.
We have to establish the couple that was living the floor below, because the manga
Yes.
did that.
Yes, the very young pregnant woman and the now that I'm making it sound worse than it is. The couple with an
The thing is,
expecting
in the
baby.
manga, they're a young couple. In this, they're a notably older couple, and they made the wife pregnant for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. You think she's like, there's a scene later in the movie where you're like, oh, she's going to give birth and it's going to be like a whole bunch of noise and that's some tension. And then they just don't do that. So she's just been pregnant this movie for no reason. Like,
Yeah. Like that's set up with no payoff.
Yeah, I think the idea is that it's supposed to be that she's more vulnerable, that she's weak, but like it's one of those cases where it's like the movie sets this up and then it doesn't really earn the idea.
It's because in the manga, they have that family, like their house gets like hit up by zombies and you think they've been killed. And that's because the manga's got a really good like push and pull of like this, everything's really shitty, and main character guy is just kind of like living a little delusional to just be able to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's just not that. It doesn't really say anything.
Like the character arc in the manga is he needs to come back down to earth without losing his optimism. Like that's the push and pull therein. The main character here is he's just kind of plucky and he doesn't really need to change, and the movie never really challenges him.
Yeah, if anything, there's more of a character arc for his friend whose name I provided to Jake earlier and I've already blanked on.
It starts with a K.
Yeah, here's the thing. You might remember, if you listen to our past episodes on Zom 100, one of the big things about this guy is he's always getting naked. He is a comedian who thinks that flashing his ass is the world's funniest joke, and he will keep hammering on that joke as long as he can. This motherfucker never takes off his clothes in this whole movie, and I was so mad. They go to the onsen, and he's wearing trunks.
Oh my God. Don't get me started on the onsen visit where they all wear the most fucking modest swimsuits that have ever been invented. Like, this is a movie who, in the very next scene we're about to get to, has a whole bunch of topless women zombies just running around. But apparently, a
Zombie
bikini
tits
is a
everywhere.
step too far.
It's so modest until it's not, and that's like part of the whole tone issue that this movie has. But Kensho is, he's stuck in the love hotel with the girl he was trying to bone, who's like tied up on the BDSM cross and is a zombie, and he's too much of a chicken shit to go out and like escape the zombies in the hallway. And before the outbreak happened, Akira and Kensho were like getting together for drinks. And when he's like, Man, I don't know. My job's great. I've got the hot daughter of the CEO of my company hopping on my dick. It's awesome. And
Oh yeah, they
Like-
set up like they're gonna have the you think it's so easy, and like Kensho being like, I actually didn't like my life. They cut out the roof scene.
yeah, they cut
You know
out
the scene that we kept saying Kensho was made of death flags, and then he started taking his clothes off, and his clothes were the things made of death flags. They just cut that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole part where he's like actually living the life of booze and women is kind of vapid and unfulfilling. They got rid of that.
Yep.
Instead, his entire character arc is Akira reminding him of that one time he choked in the college ball game.
Well, I
He has
mean,
no fucking personality at all.
yes, honestly, this was a major detraction again from this film, this adaptation. I need to have my spontaneously nude Kensho.
Okay, so it's one of those like let's hypothetically go back in time and talk about like, you know, we're gonna make the Zom 100 movie. What do? Well, we can't have the actor constantly getting naked because we're never gonna get that past standards and practices. Okay, so what do? Do we replace it with a new character trope? Do we actually make him a comedian that tells jokes and have that be a part of his character and personality? No, he's just kind of there.
He's just kind of a pussy who choked one time in a college ball game, and that's his personality.
Also, could we give
he
him
still
like?
somehow gets a threesome going with the flight attendants.
I was about to say, can he also have all the negative characteristics of the main character? Because someone's got to have him, but main character can never actually be all that wrong.
Oh. Speaking of characters needing to be right or wrong, we've also by this point been introduced to Shizuka.
They butcher her introduction scene so badly.
Yeah.
They butcher everything about her, because you know how I said that because the movie is like basically boils down the theming of Zom 100 to a Saturday morning cartoon platitude, and it ruins a specific character. Guess who I'm referring to?
Yeah.
We made a drinking game of all of the times where Shizuka would say literally anything and be instantaneously proved wrong.
Yep. Nope. She was not allowed to be right for any amount of time. They even tried to give her like in her introduction scene where she's at the Konbini and like zombies attack. First of all, her outfit did not translate into live action well. That's just unfortunate. But second of all, they give her a cool like Matrix kickflip, but Sam and I both thought she just slipped on the floor. It looks that bad. Like
the choreography of the stunt is so I can't tell if like she just had a bad take that they went with or if the cinematography was off. It just looks like she slips.
I think it was the cinematography, because the thing is, parts of that were shot well and looked cool. But that one particular shot is one of the first ones, and it sets the tone for the entire rest of the scene, and it is dog because I saw what it was going for. That doesn't mean I don't understand why Matt and Sam said it looked like she ate.
So she totally 1v1s a zombie and kicks its ass, and it's super cool. Another zombie just wanders in, so she uses one of her limited amounts of noisemakers to be like, I don't want to fight this one, and just walks away. Which is, if I had a nickel for every time she decided to throw away a useful tool for seemingly no justifiable reason.
I was so mad at that. We'll get to it.
So after this scene, Akira goes back home. He sees the ravaged apartment of the couple below him, thinks they're dead, very sad. He makes his bucket list. We get the montage we talked about.
calls his friend, goes saves him like we talked about. And at this point, they're in Shinjuku. You can tell because they've got the giant Godzilla head. So they got it, or not Shinjuku, Shibuya? I forget.
I think
think
he
it was
said
Shibuya.
during the movie.
It's wherever the big movie theater is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just saw Heisei Godzilla and had to point it out.
Well, they go to that famous like crossroads in front of that where you can see the Godzilla at the end and there's a Don Quixote on the side. It's a whole thing.
Yep.
Except for no reason, while they're trying to get supplies, a bus crashes into some parked cars.
So my understanding is this bus was a bunch of survivors who just, transport as many of them as they could safely, and then unfortunately got to the part of Tokyo where the pretty full
Well,
of crashed cars and
Well, you
yeah.
see, the event activated and it spawned all of the cars, and they didn't pass the driving check, so they had to do the zombie encounter.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. There was no reason for the bus to crash into the cars though, because you saw cars weren't moving, so you could have just stopped at any point,
And
No, this
and the
bus was
zombies
driving
didn't
full speed.
spawn in. Well, I mean, what Matt just said, the bus was driving fast. There were no zombies until like 45 seconds after the bus had crashed, and then all of a sudden the zombies spawned in.
Also, why the people on the bus get off the bus?
Like, the bus was perfectly intact and defensible.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe like somebody on the bus was bitten and turned. No establishing shot of that. Nothing to even give us the remotest idea of that.
We just cut to 2 flight attendants carrying all their luggage through a crowd of people being eaten by zombies. At this point, drop your fucking bags, ladies. Like,
Yeah. And pilot dude behind them. And so Akira, being Mr. Hero Man, is just like, hey, over here, we're gonna go hide in this Don Quixote. And everybody flees into the Don Quixote, including Shizuka. Shizuka's here, and she's like baton fighting zombies, and she doesn't notice the horde behind her until Akira yells, "On your 6!" She turns, sees the horde, throws her baton at the horde.
I was so mad at that.
like it's running out of durability in Breath of the Wild, and books it for the Don Quixote.
yeah, no, up until this point, I was unaware that was the pilot. I thought that was the bus driver, but that makes so much more sense.
He may have been both.
You know what? You're right.
I think he
feel-
was both, actually, because he talks about it's like, this was my idea, it's all my fault, blah blah blah.
I mean, is it that far fetched? Yep, he could
Yeah.
only fly planes.
He only knows how to fly planes.
He only put his stat points into flying planes. He doesn't have the driver's skill yet.
They run into the Don Quixote, and I'm just going to say this at the top of the line because I'm going to forget it at this point. I like that this is both a Don Quixote that Jay and I have been to, but the inside of this Don Quixote was not the same as the one that's right there. Because the one that's right there is very cramped and crowded, and the one therein is like a supermarket.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the flight attendants find the booze. You can tell which company they managed to get the rights for advertising from, because the Jim Beam bottle flashes the logo constantly, whereas the wine bottle never shows the actual logo.
Any of the beers they're drinking never show the logo. It's just the bottles of Jim Beam.
Yeah.
And the really funny bit is the entire movie we're like, are they going to have the shark, or are they not going to have the budget? Because in a lot of places we've seen, oh wow, they really ran out of money here, didn't they?
Yeah.
We're thinking there's no way they're going to have the shark. They're going to skip the shark. That sucks. The only thing we needed was the shark, right? And they're just definitely not going to have it. And
they're not gonna do the shark. Let's check how about. What do you mean? There's an hour left.
Well, they tease the shit out of the shark. There's like shark plushies like on an entire wall.
I remember making fun of Jacob, and when like there's a bunch of plushies, I'm like, that's the closest you're gonna get to a shark in this movie.
How wrong we were. Kensho goes off to have a threesome with the flight attendants. Shizuka and Akira have a heart-to-heart, I guess, because
'cause
she was never originally in this plot point, so they just kind of shoehorn her in.
Meanwhile, they make his friend just kind of a douche because he just kind of walks off to get a hand job.
It's like,
On
"Hey,
screen."
Yeah.
Sorry, man. The ladies want me." As he runs off, and Akira goes like full like Shakespearean protagonist, like slamming his fists on the ground, like it should have been me.
And like, speaking of tonal dissonance, we're not kidding. Like, they go to the sex shop section of Don Quixote. They get sexy flight attendant outfits on, and they proceed to like give him a hand job while saying, how the flight is like the plane is getting ready for takeoff. It's cruising at altitude. It's getting higher and higher. Oh no! Turbulence! Meanwhile, zombie pilot has been like woken up and is just sneaking up behind him, and like as he's got his O face on, is attacking him. Like, oh no!
I too yell turbulence when I come. Also, Akira and Shizuka saw the pilot awaken as a zombie and did nothing to alert the other people. So the fact that the flight attendants got bitten and turned is their fault.
It's also worth noting, and this is actually going to be critically important for the entire like climax of this movie.
Well, we already saw one of the climaxes.
Well, I mean the narrative climax. When the zombie pilot comes in and attacks one of the flight attendants, he just kind of stands there as the other flight attendant basically gets trapped and is like, you know, doomed to die. He does nothing about this. And to be clear, he panicked. And like that's the kind of thing that in a crisis situation, you know, some people just freeze up in certain circumstances. So I don't want to frame this as like, oh, Kenshi evil actually, but like he is not a heroic character. He absolutely could have saved somebody by risking his own skin and did not do that. That is going to be really freaking important later.
Yeah. And like it's another thing of like adaptational choices making our heroes less heroic. Because in the manga, the reason that the flight attendants got bitten was because everybody was too drunk to notice that the pilot turned into a zombie. In this, Shizuka's entirely sober. Like, sure, Akira's been drinking with Kensho and the flight attendants, but
they
Shizuka
are mildly buzzed at most.
Shizuka chugs a beer because he does a social faux pas.
Yeah.
But like he's effectively sober for the scene.
Yeah. They could have done literally anything. But no, the flight attendants get bitten and turned, and our three heroes escape and get into the Winnebago, eh?
I might be remembering this incorrectly because during the movie, my co-hosts thought otherwise, but I'm pretty sure they don't get the RV until after the aquarium, and my immediate thought is, oh, they're skipping the aquarium because the zombie shark was too expensive.
I legitimately could not remember. So I was willing to believe that the movie would disappoint me more by not having the zombie shark happen.
I just knew there was the arc with like the roadside, like just like a roadside stand essentially, and I'm like, oh, that's so much cheaper to film. They clearly must have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is also like a emotional arc climax. Like it makes sense to end the movie in confronting the former boss.
Yeah, I just gotta say, when they're getting on the Winnebago and fleeing the zombies, there is a moment where Akira is in the door, like, come on, get in, desperately yelling, and Shizuka's just kind of standing there. And like, I know it's supposed to be, she's the hardcore survivalist who doesn't need a team because they're just a liability. And like, that's what it's supposed to be. But like, by this point,
the only way to survive the horde is by getting on the fucking RV, even if you leave later.
Yeah, and then they have Akira and Shizuka like clap hands, like the heroic pull onto the vehicle. I have zero evidence of this, but I swear to God, there's a version of the script where the Winnebago is supposed to be going like 60 miles an hour, and he's like leaning out the side, holding out his arm, like, take my hand. And that's what that shot's from.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what happened in the final version. And it just looks really lame.
Because she's standing 2 feet away. Like,
yeah.
The worst part is he keeps looking at the zombie flight attendants that are following and chasing her. But then when they get in the car and drive away, we see there was a crowd of like 30 zombies on the other side of him that maybe he should have looked to the left of for.
Yeah, the director had enough tokens to be able to spawn in a horde. Like Jake said.
It's so stupid. Like, there are so many points in this movie where, like, oh man, I guess it's a good thing there are no zombies here right now.
We have an entire montage of them doing road trip camping things. And
Very loudly.
the only zombies that we see are for comedy because there's a zombie couple that are like hikers in the mountains that see them paragliding.
Having, like, the wicker hats.
Yeah. And then there's a zombie couple in the onsen that they tiptoe past. And like that's it. Otherwise, they're just partying it up. Loud as you can be, more fireworks happen. It really feels like the movie production saw that the anime was going to be this like wild technicolor, like very vibrant, chaotic thing. And they're like, oh, we need more like brightness to happen. Except they were so late in production that they couldn't like do something more colorful. So they just got a bunch of sparklers.
The big thing here, and this is something that I believe whilst we were watching, Matt mentioned, when it comes to the tone flopping back and forth of it couldn't like the tones clash and feel like different movies. They don't like the contrast doesn't support it. It pushes it away. We're gonna get to the end of the movie, and it's gonna be exactly what you think it is. Which, I mean, there's an argument to be made that good. That's what we're here for. But that said, it looks really fucking goofy. And having this really earnest tone and like trying to actually do this story as straight face serious as possible. Oh no, our climax looks goofy as shit. Let's make the movie more comedic in tone last minute. And the thing that I was thinking the entire time as the tone was flopping back and forth, it very much smacks of I'm a parody, you can't criticize me. Like they tried to do something completely straight-faced earnest that may have had comedic moments, but that were intended to enhance the drama, but they couldn't pull it off correctly, and they pivoted into, if we make it a comedy, they can't criticize us for being a bad drama, which is my absolute least favorite thing to see anything do ever.
Cop out.
Yes, it is
Very
a
cop-out.
massive cop-out, and I hate it when stuff does that. It makes me criticize you more.
I mean, it's essentially the equivalent of like you goof up in like a presentation or whatever, and you just jokes. I meant to do that because I'm a little prankster. Ain't I just the worst?
Yes, you are, and you should feel bad about it.
So after the most chaste onsen scene in anime history,
It was
No,
too much. It was overkill chased. I'm just saying. The girl put on extra clothes.
that girl appeared to be wearing a skirt over her like one piece and a jacket. The
she was
guys
wearing,
are
like a Nike one piece and spats. Like
the guys are wearing like knee-length swim trunks. And just to clarify, this is the movie we just watched a guy get a hand job in a Don Quixote. Like I don't understand.
multiple zombie tits.
The second half of this movie feels like a different movie.
So we have that incredibly chaste onsen scene where Shizuka's like, I'm having fun. Thanks for saving me. I'm not a tsundere anymore.
Babaka.
Bakas.
She like her entire motivation for coming with them is they have some sake that would be good at drinking in an onsen. She then proceeds to drink that onsen off screen because for some reason we can't show this character drinking.
No, we have exactly one shot of her drinking from the cup. And then the next shot is
Hard cut to her passed out on the couch.
It's Aqua. It's literally Aqua from Konosuba. She's passed out, cuddling the bottle of sake in bed. Like, okay. But they're making their way to the aquarium, which has taken 3 days. Admittedly, that's because they're doing a whole bunch of touristy shit, so that I can understand. That's a timeline that makes sense.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, this is the point where it becomes clear. Oh wait, they're combining because like they left the city. The aquarium happens in the city in the manga, but it's like, oh wait, they're combining the city and the roadblock. Okay, that makes sense.
There's no way they're getting the Tokyo aquarium. They're going to another aquarium outside the city that they can book.
Yeah.
Although when they hit a spike strip outside and you can see the aquarium in the distance, I did have a hope that they weren't actually going to go to the aquarium in the movie.
There would be something morbidly funny about the fact that they just do everything in their power to tease but then dodge the aquarium. But no,
Yeah.
we do in fact go to the aquarium.
Yeah, they run over the very DIY spike strip. Akira gets flung by the fishtailing RV and whaps his head on a cabinet and passes out for maybe 20 minutes, maybe 2 days.
Somewhere in that range.
The next time he wakes up, the manager who didn't get eaten by a zombie is greeting him like, "Hey kid, welcome back to the fold. I've gone and turned the aquarium into a shelter." And here's where the tone completely fails, because again,
Boy, are we gonna have stuff to say about this.
by softening the identification of the world, which is what made Akira love being in the apocalypse so much, it makes our heroes less heroic. And it really creates a lot of tonal dissonance when, the middle manager who in the apocalypse turned into a petty warlord who was forcing himself on a harem of women and kidnapping people to be slave labor and attacking people and just being legitimate
and actively abusing even the zombies. One of the things that was really strong about that moment is that he even was inhumane to the goddamn zombies. How do you manage that? That's so important.
And then in this, it legitimately becomes, at least the trains run on time. It's just a well-functioning, efficient survival bunker that they turn this aquarium into, except the leader is kind of full of himself.
He's their leader is an asshole, but he's doing his job and seems to legitimately care about the people's safety.
Characters will explicitly say they are at the aquarium willingly. There seems to be no one stopping them from leaving at any point. They are not prisoners here. They have a few things that imply they might be, but at no point does the movie say that, and then will occasionally do things to the detriment of that.
There's the parking lot of cars that have flat tires from the spike strips, but it's not enough cars to be everybody there.
In that compound, they're safe. The middle manager guy is going to bully them into staying if they try to leave, because the really crazy thing is they do actually kind of imply that even if his methods are wrong, even if he's an asshole, even if he's giving himself high quality sushi while everybody else is eating survival rations, which that's a dick move of the highest order, but it's that's not evil. He deserves to get punched in the face at the most. So it's he would probably try to bully people into staying because he wants more people to help him keep this place running. But it is running effectively. He is actually doing his job as a leader.
Yeah, it's legitimately, at least the trains run on time.
He's bullying the people to stay, but they're choosing to stay.
Even if he stopped bullying them, that would only encourage them to stay.
Akira sees that his friends are being made to haul boxes. And
the most evil it is, until very, very late, is one of the middle manager's minions tells them to move boxes slightly to the left. I am not freaking kidding.
Yeah. And also they're like, "Hey, Akira, go and get us another round of sake. Hop to it." They're treating him like a butler, but it's not even as abusive as this same character was in the backstory flashback.
Mm-hmm.
They make a point of highlighting how at one point this same character, Akira, goes to him with "Hey, I've got the two versions of I've got the two mock-ups for this ad. Which do you like more? Man, why are you coming to me for every small decision? Think for yourself for once." "Okay, well, I think that this one would be better." "Who said you can make decisions without my approval?" They make a real big point of doing that. And they're like, okay, that's good enough for the entire 2-hour movie. Let's have a bunch of scenes of him being mildly unpleasant.
I'm like, just to clarify, the manga version of the scene was a dude effectively running like a robber baron camp out of a truck stop where he was robbing people and like keeping them as slaves.
If I remember
This guy's
right,
just a jerk of a boss.
if I remember right, in the manga, in this same scene where he's like ordering Akira to bring him like more sushi or more booze or whatever, he's like got two like clearly uncomfortable women on his lap and he's groping them or something.
Yeah, and like it's really freaking important that he be that evil because several strong character moments and thematic elements need to rest upon those pillars or they actively collapse. Because we go forward a little bit now, the thing that like galled me the most, because like this is the moment where it's like, okay, I can't even like enjoy the bad now because I'm just so frustrated with this. The worst he is to the zombies is he uses them as deterrent for raiders.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is
there's an
just
argument to be
smart.
made that that's more humane than euthanizing them. I don't necessarily agree with that argument, but there is an argument to be made. And so it's like that happens.
That just sounds like something that some guy would do in like a DayZ server.
I'm pretty sure there are characters who have done that in The Walking Dead that are objectively heroes in that like setting. Like,
Yeah.
The collapse of the system does it's the same. It's basically the inciting incident is the same. The result is not. Of a zombie ends up in one of the supply trucks. Like it was hilariously stupid in the manga. It's even worse here.
It falls off the roof of the supply wagon, somehow climbs into the supply wagon and hides. Okay.
And then whilst all this is going down, and like it gets in the compound and starts the compound destruction. Meanwhile, this place is apparently so fucking huge that we can have the three main characters walk away and have the "are we gonna stay or are we gonna go" discussion.
Should I stay or should I go?
And they're taking supplies from this community.
Yep. They're
They're
taking
stealing from them!
They're stealing from the community. They replace the blown out tire on the Winnebago. They have an entire conversation with Akira of like, are you coming with us? No, I think it'd be safer to stay here. You're just living like a zombie again, man.
I do like how they have
The security
Akira.
breach happened 10 minutes ago.
Akira admits that it might be safer to stay here. And that's how you know it's objectively not safer to stay here. Because she has to be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other really funny moment is you get this big emotional like okay, so you get the emotional climax of okay, wait, no, Akira's got to stand up to his boss. So like there's a bit where the boss comes in and it's like, "Hey, where are those two slackers? Shouldn't there be more people here?" All of us immediately had the thought of, "Oh, that's the people getting eaten by the zombies right now." No, it turns out this place is apparently so massive that nobody has noticed the outbreak yet.
We watched like 40 people get killed by zombies.
10 minutes ago in the movie.
And like here's the boss being like, "Akira, be smart about this. You know you're safer here." And then there's the moment where she's like, "Look at your bucket list." And the boss does a misogyny. Okay, he's a dick. He deserves to get punched in the face. We already knew that. Takes the list and then stomps on it in the most namby-pamby way possible because it genuinely seems like he wants to prove a point without actually destroying Akira's property because he's not evil.
Also, just to be fully clear, like he's kind of allowed to be a little mad because Akira's entire speech is, look at what a piece of shit this guy is, when all he's really done is say, hey, can you guys keep working? As they ran in, assaulted him, and then like just started talking to main character Kun. It's like,
Yeah, it's
they come off as dicks.
yeah, clearly he's an asshole. He's mean. Okay, cool. He's keeping these people alive.
Just leave. You were always allowed to do that.
And I mean, like, it's not even that bad for the guy who's running this community to be like, hey, you're more likely to survive here, and we could always use more hands. Like, him being a jerk doesn't change the fact that he's not doing anything wrong.
It
They're
is just
stealing from him.
it's just so infinitely funny to me that like the part of him where he literally takes the notebook and starts stomping it. He's literally stomping on Akira's dreams is so milk toast
It's
that
unnecessary.
the paper's undamaged. Like they had the one notebook prop.
I was about to say, Sam, you think they can afford a second notebook?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. What's actually going on here is because the notebooks has to survive this because it's the sacred object for, like it's got to be the rest of the list has to be made so that the credits can roll, blah blah blah. So they
Okay,
don't
but
want to
Jake,
destroy.
Yes, but Jake, imagine this. Imagine the scene that we get at the end in the Winnebago where it's like, hey, you guys should write your own things in the notebook. Imagine him tearing out the crumpled and dirtied and like foot stained page
But
that
that's
had been
not what the
stomped
manga
on.
does, Sam.
You'd also have to keep that consistent between every single take you wanted of that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is the reason why his stomping on the notebook is so milquetoast. But what it unfortunately does, because it's one of those ones where it's like, I know what's going on here. He's supposed to literally be stomping on Akira's dreams, and like this is the height of villainy for him, which again, he deserves a punch in the face. He does not deserve anything more than that, or less to be fair, but still. The way it comes off, because of they need to keep that notebook intact because they need to keep the list intact because that's what the manga does. The way he stomps on it, it comes off as he doesn't want to actually destroy Akira's dreams, much less the piece of paper those dreams are written on. He's just making a point. He's being a jerk about it, but he's actually trying to save Akira because he thinks that he can keep him alive, which makes him seem more like positive, nearly heroic even. The villain who just did a misogyny at the female lead. It's so stupid because like clearly that wasn't intended, but that's the way that the framing makes it look.
Yep.
And then fortunately the zombies come in and save us. I actually earlier
Zombie
on
shark.
Yeah, earlier on, there was a bit where we were in the aquarium. Oh, we're in the aquarium. They're still definitely not going to do the zombie shark. Oh, look, they have a diorama of a great white in the little museum and/or gift shop area that everybody is sleeping in. That's the closest you're going to get to a zombie shark in this. And then a little bit later, they actually did. They have a CG great white.
Eat some
And it's
zombies.
like, wait,
yeah.
we are doing zombie shark, yay!
Let's
and then-
go.
And then the pedant that I am, I have to once again point out that there is no way that they were keeping a great white in captivity. They do not do well in captivity.
Well, to be fair, he does immediately die once he eats all those zombies that fall into his tank.
Ugh. I think that was actually a female shark.
All sharks are boys, Jacob. Like how all cats are girls.
The
Yep.
sexual dimorphism of sharks aside. We have zombie shark.
Yay!
And this is
This is
They
great.
spent so much money on this shark, and it looks real fucking goofy.
It looks
Yeah.
exactly as you would expect it would.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looked about adequate.
It's good sci-fi channel. It's good sci-fi channel CG.
about adequate is the like fairest way to describe it. Because like, whoa, no wait, the shark is on land. It can't attack us. The zombies stick their legs through the stomach and it stands up.
So did the zombies become the shark, or are the shark, or like they just kind of weird symbiotic?
3-hour episode on this. I don't want to discuss this again.
We had this whole argument. It was unclear in the manga too. We're gonna move on.
They at least have enough coordination to Kool-Aid Man through a wall.
Oh my god. Yeah, the fact that they run
Concrete
through
wall!
concrete twice, and like one character runs behind a door at one point and goes, he can't get past this door after
That-
just watching it run through concrete.
It's
That
like
character
2
is
sheets of
Shizuka.
aluminum.
That character is Shizuka.
She has never been wrong ever. Flawless.
Can only be wrong.
Oh,
So they're running from Zombie Shark. It's kind of Looney Tunes. At one point, the dickhead boss, gets stuck outside with the shark. And Akira's like, I'm going back for him. And it's like, oh, right, because his thing in the list was becoming a superhero who saves everyone. This
And, like-
makes sense.
and,
So
like, the thing is, if the boss was actually evil, that would be so much more thematically effective because, yeah, you do go save that guy. He's a dick, but he doesn't deserve to die. Like, that's not a big heroic moment where he's choosing to save everyone. That's just, yeah, go help him. That's the right thing to do. The fact that you're discussing this makes you look like an asshole, everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So he puts on the Sentai outfit. I mean, the shark bite resistant chainmail.
It's got a entire helmet.
It's pretty funny.
He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of Jingle All the Way. Like it.
There's a pretty chaotic action scene where he saves Dickhead Boss.
Chaotic is a very generous way of putting
This is the most.
chemically shot
it's
and stupid.
That's basically what I mean. It's incoherent. Kensho at no point distracts the shark by flashing his juicy ass at it. I'm severely disappointed. Instead, he goes full Ripley at the end of Aliens, except he doesn't have an awesome loader outfit. He's just got a forklift.
Yep. He's like, yep.
He's
Oh,
forklift
and-
certified, bud.
He's forklift certified.
Forklift certified.
I don't even think
And like
so.
this is one of those cases where like the zombies literally despawn like it's freaking Dead Rising because
Yeah.
the camera moved away. Where
The dickhead boss tries to run away because Akira's grappling with the shark, like, go, get out of here, I'll be fine. And he runs away and he's like, no, wait, don't use that door. He opens the door, zombies pour out. And those zombies they don't do anything.
they chase the dickhead boss away past the forklift that Kenshi will eventually be on. And the instant they're off screen, they teleport out of existence so
We've
that
already
Kenshi
talked
can get on the forklift to fight the shark.
We've already talked about them more than they matter to the plot.
It is painful. We haven't even gotten into the fact that whether or not they can see, or if they're sound based, or if they're both or neither, is constantly changing.
They make such a big deal about them being sound based to the point like Kenshi only survives at one point because he stays silent. But then they'll just attack people based on sight, so it doesn't matter.
Well, no, see, we know that they're sound-based because after Kenshi heroically gets the shark stuck in a wall, there's a new zombie horde that appears, and it looks like this is the end for our heroes until Shizuka shows up with two megaphones strapped to iPhones that have Spotify playing.
And she activates her ultimate animation.
Yeah, this entire last scene is essentially just a Sentai like kids show. Like it's on a stage that is multi-leveled with some big water tanks at the end for enemies to go falling into.
Mhm.
Like
I really need somebody to take the shot of Shizuka like pom-pom dancing essentially with these megaphones and set it to Benny the Hero.
It would have been more appropriate than the song choice they
Oh
went
my
with, to be fair.
That's right. Every time they have a character listen to music, it ends up being a licensed track that was clearly just picked because it's whatever the studio is collaborating with, not because that is actual music you would listen to in the scene.
Yeah, all the insert tracks are just not appropriate. But she shoots them like guns, which does blast away zombies sometimes.
And then other times it attracts them.
Yeah, and then she throws them to the side where they continue to play even though she's no longer depressing the triggers on the like rock props over the pools so that the zombies run and like part around her like that one sick child in Israel during that moment in World War Z.
That's very specific. But yes, I
It
know.
is
You
yet
all know
somehow-
the one I'm talking about.
And yet somehow it's less justified than World War Z, which is really saying something.
I like how after all those zombies fall into the water tank, all the characters act as if they are dead forever. And I don't know why we assume that.
Oh yeah, they got ringed out.
Like,
They despawned when they fell in
Do
the
you
water.
see
It's a
any
ring out.
HP bars left, Matt?
nope, I guess no. I must be
Wow.
wrong.
Wow, that sure was something. Good job, everybody. We won the day, says Kensho, and then just gets slapped by the shark tail because it broke through the wall silently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it knocked a small piece of cardboard near Shizuka, which immobilizes her for the rest of the scene.
A piece of rubble falls, and it's supposed to be the thing of like, oh no, it fell on my ankle. I can't get up. I actually had to go back and pause on that shot. It literally fell in front of her foot.
You can see it not being on her. And there's the moment of trying to like push it off. Oh no, I'm not strong enough. It's too heavy. She couldn't the actress could not fake pushing on it lightly enough to not make it move. Like,
Yeah.
It was so light.
Considering what we find out at the end of the movie, I can only assume she was faking being trapped for some reason.
Well, she needed to give the football players their pathos moment because that's Kenshi's entire character now.
She also
Yes.
needed to steal the batteries from Dickhead Voss's flashlight to tape together.
Well, you see, sharks have electrosensitive nerves.
That's not
in
how
their nose.
Ambuli of Lorenzini work.
Also, the shark is a reanimated corpse at this moment, so maybe we can throw out some things we know.
And with your chainmail suit, you'll conduct the electricity of these batteries. Quick, Kenshi, redeem yourself for being a pussy in that football match all those years ago and throw. And he does the least quarterback throw ever to the worst shot, like object flying, obviously green screened.
You know those movies from like I want to say like the late
The
90s,
90s?
early aughts, like those
Yeah.
like they were trying to make 3D a thing.
Yeah, when they were
It's
trying
like
to make
that
3D,
but worse.
and it's supposed to be like the main character catches the football and does like the winning move to win the game, except the child actor isn't athletic enough to actually get the shot, so you do it in post. It's that.
Oh.
And it's Akira catches it and Falcon punches the shark and the day's saved.
My favorite part is Shizuka tells Akira, just punch him. Why? I don't have time to explain, but I do have time to explain that your shark suit is vital, and also it will make you a hero, and also a few other things. You know what? At this point, I could have just told you it will electrify your punch. Oh, shark attacked you.
Yeah, there's like a whole thing about Kenshi like distracted. Oh, we forgot the most important part. Whilst Shizuka and Kenshi are talking about how to stop the shark, this entire time, Akira has had his arm in the shark's mouth, being ragdolled in the most hilarious way imaginable.
Like, if it didn't tear his arm off, it would at least dislocate it so severely he would have lost it.
He was literally getting like full speed yeeted up in the air and then slammed down on the concrete. And he's
Puny
fine.
God.
But yeah, actually, so like there's also this stupid of like for some reason Kenshi gets the shark's attention so that he can have a fake out death.
Oh yeah.
But you know, like it's funny because again, there's a level of there are parts of this movie that actually work exactly as intended. And like you can even do the silly comedic tone enhancing the earnestness had this been done differently. I mean, part of me wants to say competently, but I don't think a lack of competence is the problem. I think some
think a
decisions
lack
were
of-
made late that derailed a project that, frankly, shockingly, kind of maybe could have worked.
It feels like they had a really strong vision that they second guessed and reshot a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and that's really sad because
They
one
did
thing
not
that
commit to the bit.
one thing that I got to call out that I thought was really cool, and this is why I say, like, honestly, even like having like silly elements, it can actually work. Because one thing that Matt mentioned while we were watching is like the shark looks so fucking stupid. They're like, no one's ever going to take us seriously. We need to make it funny, and I believe that's probably true. But the thing that's kind of frustrating about that is it's fine the CG shark being that goofy looking. That would not have undercut the earnestness. Because one of the coolest shots in the movie is, and it's we had all checked out at the movie by this point because it had been so bad for so long. None of us had any faith in it, and good, we wouldn't have been rewarded if we did. But one thing that I really genuinely liked and thought was actually unironically cool, there's a moment where Akira's like, I gotta go out and help him, and Kenshi's like, wait, a superhero needs his suit, right? And they show the neon blue air quote shark suit. And it's like, okay, that's goofy as shit, but okay. There is a shot where the boss is getting chased by the zombie shark. After this, a superhero, like a superhero needs his suit line. That's a cool lead up to, you see someone's feet, obviously Akira, like running up a ladder to get to a scaffolding as the shark is about to corner the boss. And then Akira, like, with a chain, does like a swing in, kicks the shark in the face, and then does a superhero landing. And honestly, that was cool. Like, if the movie had committed to that, like, the whole way through, like, that could have been a really great moment in a thematically strong movie of, it's like, you know, like, I'm not Superman, but I can do this, you know? And then you proceed to the climax of it, which is like they gave up, they stopped giving a fuck, they just stopped trying. That genuine moment of effort at the beginning of the actually fighting back against the shark is like so different from the entire, like, when they get into that Sentai stage show room, all of the effort's gone, and they just don't care anymore.
The aquarium's so weird because this level of CGI they have for the shark isn't like bargain basement either. Like, there was some effort put into that. It just didn't have the polish to be like front and center like it is. But like, if you just didn't have all the lights on in the aquarium, it would have looked fine. It would have been darker. It would have been grittier. Point of order, the aquarium is dark and gritty in the manga. They just decided to have all the lights on fully to, like, it just becomes comedic. I don't know why they did that.
Well, I think we hit on it earlier. They had a vision, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say it could have worked. If they had committed to it, it would have worked because there was a lot of skill shown in this movie, but they got cold feet and they, you know, they swerved away because if we're a comedy, they can't criticize us so severely, which is just a crying shame. And then I guess the only thing left is to point out that they leave the dick-ass boss to die.
Yeah. Everybody just goes up and leaves, and
Literally,
they leave him there.
They split the party. You know,
They rescued him to leave him in the aquarium full of zombies.
Yeah,
Yep.
great fucking moral victory there, guys. I just
Like, when he goes up to Akira at the end of the movie and he's like, hey, what if I make you leader? That doesn't sound like a trick coming from him. like from what we've seen up to this point. It almost seems like he's actually had a come to Jesus moment where he's actually going to change his ways, and they just leave him to die.
We loved that there was an after the credits scene because we kept joking, like as they were driving away, a zombie was going to come up and like karmic victory kill him because he clearly deserved to die or whatever. And the main character would just need to be a hero. But then they have the after the credits scene, and it's just him picking up the jackets that people threw on the ground because they didn't want to work for him anymore. And then he just walks off, and then the screen just like circles around him, and that's the end. And you're like, what was the point of that?
It literally irises in like it's a fucking Looney Tunes ending.
That's all, folks.
Oh, it was a choice.
It is a choice. So, yeah, that's the Zom 100 movie. I frankly have nothing else to say about it. It was just an adaptation that was really flaccid.
Exactly. I didn't get my naked Kensho. So that was a 2 out of 10 stars.
I said flaccid as like a actual like critique, but also funny haha sex joke flaccid.
Well, no, it wasn't flaccid because Kensho did get that hand job.
Yeah, it was. We got the full like
we
got to get walked through takeoff. Like, so weird. It's so weird that scene lives in the same like movie as the onsen shot, which was essentially like, hey, a bunch of teenagers went to an onsen. Like,
no, it was worse. It was worse. Honestly, these are all adults. And the fact that they were supposed to have like this pinnacle of their getaway, getting sake and having a good fun time at the onsen, and then proceeded to put more clothes on than they took off. It was just sad. I was sad. This movie made me sad.
Yeah. So even if they add German Samurai Girl, we're not watching the sequel.
No.
I love how there was absolutely no chance they were going to hire a foreign actress to play German Samurai Girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So yeah, that's another No Read November in the bag. God, I can't believe it was only 2 movies, and it felt like so much more.
They were both so long is the problem. We watched newer ones, and movies now need to be 2 hours for some reason. Where were our 90-minute I can't remember. What was the one? Fist of the North Star. That 90-minute piece of crap with Zuko in it.
That was fun 90-minute piece of crap though.
The thing that where they had to stretch out so many scenes because they definitely did not have a script with enough runtime for 90 minutes.
Yeah, neither did this movie, yet somehow it was 2 hours.
Yep. Anyway, make sure to come back in how do we do outros again?
As always, we appreciate reviews in any and all form. Go out and reach out to us over moncast@gmail.com. If you want, you can give us some recommendations for live action anime movies. We are hitting the bottom of the barrel, so if you've got good ones, we'd appreciate them for next year. But in the interest of brevity, hey Sam, what are we reading? I forget these air in November. Shit. Well, I guess we're keeping this in. Sam, what are we reading next week? Next section.
Next episode.
For next episode, because we have finished The Adventures of Kringle and the Pola Cola Wars, we needed another sexy Santa.
Is it not Call of the Night?
You're right.
Sexy Santa is the Christmas episode, which is at the end of December.
You're right.
Time is weird.
Time is weird. Shit. Fuck. How many chapters of that did we read?
Is it not on the sheet?
I don't have the sheet pulled up
Okay.
right now.
Okay, hold on.
I'm pulling it up.
Stall for time. Stall for time.
Someone start singing.
Jay, you volunteered. Go.
No.
That's
Yeah,
not
good
that's
job.
not singing.
Next time, we're reading Call of the Night, chapters 19 through 39. So if you're keeping up with the show, be sure to read that, and we'll see you all in 2 Thursdays. Good night, everybody.
Yay, something good.
Oh, thank God, we're done. Jay? Oh,
God, the
great.
zombies got her.
Oh no!
Something happened. It's already better than the movie.